Um, if you'll give me your attention, I won't say here we go, but I guess I did. All right. So ellipses. A little bit more on ellipses. We're getting a little fancier here with ellipses. Um, let me draw the two ellipses I know, and luckily for you, we're going to still keep them all centered at the origin. So sometimes my ellipses go horizontally. Oh, and that was really not centered well. Let me try that again. And sometimes they get vertical. Better, not great. All right, there's my center. The long axis has at its ends the vertices. The short axis has the co-vertices. So here are my vertices for the one that's vertical, and my co-vertices okay. We're making A the distance from the center to the vertex, and B the distance from the center to the co-vertex. And on these, just like on our parabolas, we have a focus. We have two focus. We have foci. They are along the longer axis. So if it's one of these that's horizontal, the foci are on the same axis as the vertex there. And in this case, they're going to be on the x-axis because we are we're centering at 0, 0. So that's a focus. And that's a focus. Together they're called foci. And they're along the long axis. If we're set up vertically, they'll be on the y-axis. There and there. Now, the distance from the center to the focus, this little distance right here, is called C. This little distance right here is called C. And it's the same whether you're going to either foci. The C is the same. This C is going to be defined as, we'll do C squared equals A squared minus B squared when my longer axis is the horizontal axis, or C squared is B squared minus A squared when my longer axis is the vertical axis. So if you get those, if you get a negative number when you do your subtraction, then you know you needed to switch those, that your vertex, your longer axis was the other one, so you need to switch the A squared and the B squared. Okay, so find the focus. Sure. Should I put that on the YouTube that she's gone to the restroom? Since you're all minors, I won't mention names. Okay, here we go. Here is the equation of an ellipse, x squared plus 9y squared equals 9. Okay? This is not the form that we're familiar with. The form we're familiar with is x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1. I got to make this look like this form. How I do it is I take that constant and I divide it by itself in order to get 1. So essentially I'm going to divide both sides of this equation by that 9. And then I make sure that my coefficients on my x squared and y squared turn out to be 1. So let's do that divide and make sure. X squared over 9 plus 9y squared over 9 equals 1. I cannot have that coefficient on that y squared, so I better hope this fraction simplifies. Oh, 9 over 9, oh, that's just 1. So this is x squared over 9 plus y squared over 1 equals 1. We don't usually write the over 1. We just write that as y squared. So let me make a sketch of the graph so I know what I'm talking about here. My a squared is 9, so that means that a is the square root of 9 is 3. My b squared is 1, that means my b is the square root of 1, which is 1. So my horizontal axis has a distance of 3 left and right from its center. And 1. You always square root these numbers on the bottom of the fraction. Always. Always. Okay? So now I've made my little sketch. I got a good idea where the focus is. It's along the longer axis. So let me just kind of throw my foci in. Oh, they're here somewhere. All right, now this is a horizontal ellipse. So it's c squared equals a squared minus b squared. A squared is 3 squared, that's 9, minus 1 squared, that's 1. So I'm going to get a positive number, so I know I subtracted in the right direction. So that means c squared is equal to 8, and c is the square root of 8. Better known as 2 root 2. The focuses are inside the ellipse and along the longer axis. And I'm going to find exactly where they are right now. Okay? So I kind of place them here so I kind of know in general where they are. So this focus is going to be 2 times the square root of 2 from the center. The center is at 0, 0. If I move to the right, I know I'm going to be moving left and right because I've got one of these horizontal ellipses. So 2 times the square root of 2 from this center is the point. 2 square root 2 comma 0. The other focus